everyone, I wanted to show you today a technique using Starlights paint from Imagination Crafts. I recently popped a picture of this MDF panel that I created onto social media and you were all saying such lovely things. Thank you very much for your feedback, and you were all asking how I managed to create this effect. A couple of you questioned if it was a crackle medium. Now this is actually even more simple than using crackle medium. To create this effect, all you need are a selection of Starlights paints. So I use 3 when I'm doing this particular technique. The colours I'm going to use today are bright fuchsia, dark orchid and dried rose. And in this one I think I used an orange and a gold and a passion flower for that one there. So I've started already. What I've done is I've just taken, using my palette knife, just tiny little blobs of the paint and I've just spread it onto my MDF panel. What you can do is you can do this on card, but I would use a high GSM, so something like 300 or above, just because when you're spreading the paint on, you don't want it to make the card all flimsy. So what I've started to do here is I've spread on some of the paint, and then I'm literally just taking a lolly stick, just a cheap old lolly stick, and spreading it around. Now what you could do is you could do this with your palette knife, but I didn't want to cover my palette knife or ruin my palette knife when I was doing it, because as I say, this was an experimental technique that I sort of pulled together, and I want to be able to push quite hard on certain areas, so I didn't want to ruin my palette knife, so that's why I started using a lolly stick. And as you can see, the paint starts to blend together, and I really like this sort of abstract feel. And if you get blank areas, this is where you can go back and grab some more paint. So I've got some areas here where I just want to add just a little bit more. So I'm going to go back in, and I think I'm going to use a bit more of the bright. And I'm just going to dab in to the areas where I want it. Now it's really important not to contaminate your colours, so if you're concerned that when you were putting it on that you got a different colour onto your palette knife, I would advise that you clean that off first before dipping it back in, but I'm alright, it seems to have been alright there. Another important thing is to clean off your palette knife or whatever tool you're using if you want to use it again, because Starlights does dry really fast. So I'm going to go back into spreading it on. Hopefully you can see, and it's literally, it's kind of like spreading butter really. It's a really simple and easy technique. Okay, so I've got a good coverage on there and I'm happy with that. And at the moment it looks nothing like the crackly effect that's on the other one, but I quite like this effect as it is. It's quite a nice sort of mixed effect. Now if you want to add the crackle in, like in this one here, all you do is you place your lolly stick on and then you pull it up. And you want to do this when the paint is sort of getting dry but not dry, so it's sort of tacky. And you need to act quite fast because, as I say, Starlights does dry pretty fast. And you can do this either just in one side or you can do it all over. And for this one here, I'm just going to do it sort of as a diagonal because I want to be able to show you the difference that you get between the crackle that I'm creating by pulling it up, dabbing it in and pulling it up. Okay, and then on this side I'm just going to leave it mixed just so you can see the difference. So I'm just dabbing it on and pulling it up. There we go. So that lolly stick there, you can either leave it as it is and then chop it up and use it in your art journals and mixed media, or you can, if you want to, give it a clean and then use it again. So hopefully this particular panel can show you the difference. You've got the crackly effect on the one side where I've added in that second step of pushing down the lolly stick and pulling it up, and then on the other side you've just got the area where I've just spread in and mixed together those Starlight paints. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic, and the Starlight paints just make it so sparkly and so pretty. I don't think the camera picks it up as much as what it should really, because it is so pretty. There we go. So hopefully you've liked that technique. If you've got any questions or if you have a go yourself and you want to show me, just give me a shout, pop it in the comments below, or hop onto my website or something and let me know and I'll take a look. Happy crafting everyone!